Do you fancy a trip to Whitstable, to the charity shops? Now, if you love all things thrifting, charity shop adventures, days out in the English countryside, a bit of flower arranging and crafting too, you're in the right place. And I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. All you need to do is to tap the red button marked subscribe, and that means next time you open the YouTube app on your phone, your laptop or your computer, one of my videos will be waiting for you. Now, I'm going to take you on a tour of the charity shops in Whitstable, but this isn't going to be a tour of Whitstable, which is a very popular weekend destination. And if you're not interested in charity shops, well, this isn't the video for you. But if you want to ask me any questions about things I recommend doing in Whitstable, places to see, things to do, where to park, where to eat, do let me know in the comments and I will give you the benefit of my local knowledge. I'm starting my day at the charity shops of the RSPCA, which is in Oxford Street. Oxford Street then becomes the High Street, which then becomes Harbour Street, and you'll find all the charity shops within walking distance of each other. And if you were only walking between the first charity shop and the last one, it would probably take you 10 to 15 minutes, but of course, because you're going to be meandering in and taking time to visit, you'll need to factor in a little bit more time for your visit. So the first charity shop, the RSPCA, it is mainly a clothing shop. So I'm not necessarily in the market for clothing. My special interest is looking for flower arranging paraphernalia. But as you go into the shop, on the left-hand side, you'll find a little bit of a vintage display area where they've put together a collection of the nicest vintage items which have been donated. And then a little bit further on that side is their general bric-a-brac. And I was lucky enough to spot a Silvat container, although it wasn't to my taste, so I left it behind. And I also spotted this ceramic posy ring vase, which I think at £2 was great value. A little bit further along Oxford Street, on the other side of the road, is the British Red Cross. This is a tiny, tiny shop, and you might be a little bit put off when you open the door because it opens up into a very small area. If you're on the market for clothes, you want to turn left into the little side area. That's where the women's clothes are. They, for me, are a little bit expensive, but they've been carefully curated and they've definitely got a Whitstable vibe to them. But if you want menswear, you have to go to the right-hand side, and then if you want to go to the bric-a-brac, you go out through the back of the shop and into the conservatory area. There isn't an awful lot of bric-a-brac, but I did spot some lovely tea services. In the High Street itself, you'll find the Demelza charity shop, which is a local children's hospice. So that's on the right-hand side of the road. That's a good all-round general purpose charity shop with a mix of clothing, books and bric-a-brac. I'd recommend, particularly at this shop, that you do look in the shop window first of all, which is faces onto the High Street and then just goes round the corner a little bit. Inside, I spotted some lead crystal from the brand Anna Hutt, and the label there says Bleichkristall, which is the German word for lead crystal. And of course, lead crystal was invented by George Ravenscroft in 1675 when he added lead oxide to clear glass. And then tucked away on the back shelf, this little hand-painted pot with the little grid lid. Really handy for arranging flowers without needing flower foam. And just a few doors down from Demelza is the Pilgrims Hospice. Now this particular branch of the Pilgrims Hospice is a furniture shop. So we in previous years have got lots of items of furniture from this store, and they do deliver, which is rather handy. But don't rule it out, even if you're not in the market for any furniture, because you'll find lots of bric-a-brac interspersed amongst the room settings as they style the furniture to make it more appealing. And then don't forget to go upstairs, and It's a little bit while since I've been to this charity shop, and the upstairs is looking the best that I've ever seen it. It seems to have a new linens section, and although I don't show it in this video, I did actually buy my daughter a rather nice double duvet cover. And as you can see here, tucked away in the corner on the first floor of the building is more bric-a-brac. So some beautiful tea services and some rather interesting glassware. This crystal basket by Hofbauer caught my eye, another leaded crystal piece with a bird carved onto the red cut to clear. It's not my taste, but perhaps you might like it. Let me know in the comments. A little bit further down again on the high street, there are two charity shops. On the right hand side there's Scope, and that's set back a little bit, just down from Boots, and then opposite that is the Cancer Research. So Scope is a very large shop, with lots and lots of women's clothing. The bric-a-brac is on the back wall. There wasn't an awful lot of it on the day I visited. And there's also books along the back wall. I will say that although several years ago I was finding absolutely loads and loads of flower arranging books, in recent months I have hardly found any. So perhaps flower arranging is having a revival and everybody wants to know how to do it. The Cancer Research shop on the other side of the road, it's quite a small store, and on the day I visited there were probably half a dozen people in there, and we were finding it a little bit difficult to manoeuvre around each other, but I highly recommend you have a look. I'm sure you'll find something to wear there if nothing else, and the bric-a-brac is down towards the back wall on the right hand side. And right at the end of the high street, opposite Harbour Street. So if you're walking, you can walk down Harbour Street, but if you're travelling in the car, it's a one-way system. So once you get to the end of the high street, you have to sort of do a circular route round to retrace your steps. But you'd want anyway, if you're visiting Whitstable, to make sure you are parked up and then just walk between the individual shops. My advice is charity shopping is to really have a really good look in the window. It's not like a regular shop where whatever is in the window will be displayed in the store as well, because obviously everything is a one-off product. Now, I think this again, the last shop at the end of the high street was another Pilgrim's Hospice shop, and it tends to have more of a vintage vibe to it. So even if you're not in the market for buying anything, it's always worth having a little look in the window as you move on to spend the rest of your day in Whitstable. And I would say at this point that Whitstable is a really great place for a day out. There are so many cafes and restaurants to eat at. There's so many independent houseware, homeware stores and clothing stores, and there are absolutely loads of full-on vintage and more antique style stores. I didn't visit any of those because I thought going to the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 charity shops, that's enough for me in the couple of hours that I spent there. I did buy an absolutely beautiful green glass bowl in this particular charity shop. I asked to look at it because they took it out of the window for me. I mulled it over and then went back. So if you want to see my haul, it's a small one this time, make sure you watch on to the end of the video. And the last charity shop I visited was Relate, and that is on Harbour Street. Again, it's set a little bit back from the road frontage, so make sure you don't overlook it. You need to walk down the whole of Harbour Street and then you'll see it off to one side. I think probably over the years, this is the charity shop that I've had most success in, bearing in mind that I'm looking very narrowly for flower arranging paraphernalia and containers. This shop always has a really well thought out window display, and also a limited number of clothes. I would say this one is probably 50-50 bric-a-brac items and clothing. And on the clothing rails, it's also got a display shelf on the top, where I spotted a rather nice, heavy, and I'm not sure whether it was cut glass or pressed glass, but a rather impressive vase, but it didn't come home with me. This is the main bric-a-brac section, and in the past I found my red and white transferware spode dishes here, but for today I've spotted a Portmeirion vase which has been designed for the National Trust, £4. A nice little bud vase, make a lovely Mother's Day gift or something for Easter. And how about a jelly mould? I come across them in practically every single charity shop that I visit. We're not big jelly fans at home, and I'm just wondering whether they would make lovely flower arranging containers, but of course the beautiful dimpled side would be on under the base of your flower arrangement rather than showing up at the top. And I spy right on the back shelf some Wedgwood, and I believe this is Queensware. Check out the price there, £15. Now, I cannot resist a glass flower block, a flower dome or a flower frog. What would you describe this as? Let me know in the comments. And now this was something I very nearly overlooked in the Relate charity shop. It was just sitting all on its lonesome on the top of a shelf near the door. It was only because I stepped aside to let someone come in that I looked up and spotted it. This cost me £2, and I like the fact it's got these tiny little feet on it. It's got quite a pronounced dome to it, and it's sparkling clean, as if it's never been used before. And if you're not familiar as to how to use flower frogs, I have got a video which I'll link in the description below. And as you can imagine, I've got a growing collection of these glass flower domes. I've got quite a large one on my kitchen windowsill where I keep some bottle brushes for when I do the washing up. You could use them as a pen pot or perhaps for your makeup brushes. But in terms of flower arranging, I would probably put this down inside a container. It could be opaque or glass, and then arrange your flowers through it. And all that means is putting your first few stems into the holes, and then once you've got a quantity of stems, they will support your other flowers, so you don't need to put one stem into every hole. And this was my best find of the day. Mind you, I paid £10 for it. It's a fabulous piece of cloud glass made by Davidson. I've been trying to do a little bit of research to improve my knowledge, and I've tracked down that a Chris and Val Stewart wrote a history of Davidson's glass, but that book is out of print at the moment. So if you ever come across one, do let me know, because the more pieces of Davidson glass I pick up, the more intrigued I am about the manufacturing process and a little bit of history about the company. So originally this would have come with a little pedestal, a raised plinth at the bottom, and it would have had quite a large flower dome or glass flower brick inside. This particular bowl here has got a fluted edge. It comes in 3 sizes, 9-inch, 11-inch and 13 inches, so I've got the smaller one of that. And having done a little bit of research on the internet, I think I've got pattern S696F, and it came in a number of colours as well as the green, amber, blue, purple and orange. I think I rather like the green. I have got a few of the amber options, but they read to me as a bit like a dirty brown colour. So I think I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for more of the green cloud glass in the future. Now, for those of you who are members of my special YouTube group, and you'll know because you're paying a monthly fee, which gives you free access to my monthly online flower arranging club, I've got a little bit of bonus footage for you to enjoy. And if you haven't already signed up to become a member of my YouTube channel, you'll find the joining link in the description underneath this video. Well, that's all from me for now. If you've got any specific questions about things to do, days out and how to spend your time in Whitstable besides going to the charity shop, let me know in the comments and I will reply with a little bit of local knowledge for you. And don't forget to let me know in the comments what you thought about my rather spectacular green glass bowl. Well, that's all from me for now, and I'll see you again next time.